Is Starlink a very dangerous company? I know you probably have it in your country. You from Africa? Did your leader do perhaps a very stupid act in accepting to allow Starlink in your country? Do you even know what Starlink is, first of all? Starlink is this, okay? This internet company by Elon Musk, I think it's run by SpaceX, with the goal of providing internet service to people via satellite. So you have like a terminal on the ground and the satellite will beam down whatever the spectrum that is and hit your terminal and you get internet. Well, Starlink has good things. What are the good things about Starlink? Starlink allows you to get internet access even in remote areas. Even in the desert, you don't need any connection. Where there's nothing, you can get internet if you have terminal connected. Now, why is Starlink potentially dangerous? We're going to find, fellas, we're going to talk about Russia here, but I want you to pay attention because this is going to roll down to your country. Well, the Russian military is scrambling down to find alternative to Starlink. Why? After a major change was implemented by Starlink to cut off all unauthorized Starlink access to the satellite. Let me repeat myself in simple English because I know many of us here are not as smart as you. Russia is looking for alternative to Starlink after Starlink cut off all devices that are not authorized by Starlink. Now that's exclusively Russian devices, not Ukrainian. Let's continue. What are the consequences? This has severely disrupted Russian forces who had been using smuggled and illicit Starlink terminals for the battlefield communication. Let me explain to you. Why smuggled and illicit? Because if you don't know, now you're going to know now, Starlink is not authorized in Russia. It's been banned since 2022. You can't have Starlink access in Russia. But in Ukraine, you can have it because the war is happening in Ukraine. Look at the map. This is Russia. This is Ukraine. This is where the whole war happening. Starlink is activated in Ukraine, but not in Russia. Therefore, you cannot get a Starlink terminal from Russia. You have to get it from either Ukraine after winning battles and taking from your opponent, or maybe smuggling these terminals from Soviet Union countries. I'm going to talk about that just now. Now, this has severely disrupted Russian forces from fighting effectively against Ukrainians. A minister of Ukraine named Mikhailo Ferodov held a talk with Elon Musk, asking Elon Musk to cut off all Starlink devices that are connected that are not Ukrainian in Ukraine. So basically creating a whitelist system. Only officially registered and verified Ukrainian Starlink terminal can connect and have network access. Now, I know this is a lot, but we need to break it down so we can all understand, right? My sister from Moldova, from Tobago and Trinidad, I salute you. The one from Malawi also, and Zimbabwe. Anyway, let's continue. Now, Starlink is important in war. Why? Because when the war starts, usually powerful countries like Russia will attack your communication system. So Russia attacked immediately Ukrainian telecommunication system. So bombarding their internet services so they don't have internet communication. What happened? Well, Elon Musk stepped in. He gave them access to Starlink. Now, with Starlink, you don't need a big infrastructure in your country. You just need these satellites from heaven or from whatever to beam onto your terminal. Now, that's how Ukrainians been using Starlink from the first place, from the beginning of the war. Now, Russia is not very happy with that. Starlink is very effective and very strong. And Russia have been using the very same Starlink to do things to Ukraine. How has Starlink helped Ukrainians? No, don't run away, my brother. We're going to talk about Africa and why this matters for you. Number one, it says provide fast, reliable internet service everywhere in the country, even in the bush. Okay, so they've had access to Wi-Fi for military purpose. And this has been good. Why? Because Starlink connection is very hard to jam. You know what jamming is? Jamming is disrupting somebody's communication using electronic warfare. So if you're trying to communicate with your friends on the side, the Russian can block your communication using jamming system. With Starlink, it's very difficult to jam. Why? Because Starlink has 6,000 satellites on orbit, 6,000 communication. So if you're trying to jam communication with one satellite, there's 6,000 satellites and they all fly at 550 kilometers above the sky. So it's not very far. The communication is very strong. Even though Russia has tried many times to block the communication, it has worked partially because then it shifts to another beam. That's how it's been very difficult for Russia to handle this. And that is how the Ukrainians have been using drones to fight Russians. Take into account, the drones have played very positively for the Ukrainians. Let's continue. We were saying how Starlink is helping Ukrainians. Number two, it allows encrypted group chat. So difficult to hack. Like video calls, secure messaging between frontline troops and rear command centers. So they can communicate without being interrupted and being, hacked by the Russians. Number three, Starlink power Ukraine reconnaissance. So when the Ukrainians send drones, they can see the target. Before they hit the target, the drone is sending actual, direct, live images of the target to the center. So when they hit the target, they know exactly where to hit the target. It can't miss. Unlike the way they used to do in the past, you can estimate where the target is and send your missile. This time around, you can actually monitor the target and say, no, you missed, try again on the right. You can see the target. So it has helped to precision targeting. Now, like I said to you earlier, Russia cannot buy Starlink. For you to get access to Starlink, you need terminals because Starlink is just satellite. You need to have terminals on the ground. Now, Russia doesn't have access to terminals anymore because Russia is blocked since the start of the war in Ukraine. How is Russia accessing Starlink? Russia is accessing by getting terminals from countries like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and all other ex-Sovietic republic. That's how they get. I mean, a Russian soldier can say, you know what, I got a cousin in Kazakhstan. I'm going to ask him to send me 2 terminals. They will send them terminals in front. But because Ukraine's airspace is open to Starlink, you can use any terminal coming from anywhere else and make it function for you. And that is how the Russians have been able to send drones back to Ukraine and target precisely their target in Ukraine. Now, the whitelist. Ukraine has suggested to Elon Musk to have a whitelist. What is a whitelist? Whitelist is basically, let's say you have cordless microphone that can connect to your speaker. Now, anybody with a cordless microphone, if it comes next to your speaker, maybe they can speak. Now, whitelisting is limiting the amount of cordless microphone that can connect to your speaker and giving them names. It's called MAC address, a specific name to every device. So all the Ukrainian armies have to register like a MAC address and other things to Starlink for them to operate in Ukraine. Now, the army does it. The civilians also does it. When the army do it and the civilians do it, then the Russians are out. So every other terminal that comes into Ukraine that is not registered with Elon Musk in Ukraine does not function. Now, I think this is very interesting because the Russians are very angry. They're looking for alternatives right now. They're very angry. Russians are like, you know what? There's actually somebody named Alexei Zhuravlyov. Alexei Zhuravlyov is a diplomat from Russia. He says it is important to understand that relying on anything Western in the current situation is dangerously overconfident. So you shouldn't rely on the West. He continues saying, even taking into account the active negotiation that we are currently holding with the United States of America, that does not stop them from being our adversaries. I think there's something very interesting here. Now, why can't Russia have their own ways of communication? Well, it's been very difficult. Russia doesn't necessarily have that. They have their alternative. Russia has its own satellite communication, including system run by Gazprom space system, but it's very limited. They don't have the amount of device that Starlink has or SpaceX. SpaceX is 6,000 satellites. The Russians don't have that. They don't have all of that. So there are many areas of war where you cannot beam down internet connection. Now, the Russians are also looking to China as an alternative. And it's going to take them time to get the authorization and get the number of replacement that they were getting from Starlink. Now, I think this is very interesting, fellas, because let me break it down for you very quickly. Now, Ukraine and Russia are at war, okay? It doesn't concern anybody. Russia and Ukraine are using Starlink, which is a communication company from an American, at war to fight each other. Well, one part of the people, the Ukrainians, have discussed with Elon Musk, said you must shut them out so they don't have access to internet, so they're not effective anymore. And Elon Musk has done just that. Now, the Russians are angry. Now, in the meantime, Elon Musk is unhappy that South Africa doesn't want to allow Starlink in the country. Is Starlink a civilian company or a military political company? That's a very good question you got to ask yourself. As much as, Starlink is great, the communication is great for the people that use it, it's fast and all that stuff. But is Starlink a civilian company or a military company? Why? Because let's look in the past. When you look in the past, Elon Musk has not necessarily provided Starlink all the time with Ukraine. When the war started, Russia bombarded Ukrainian infrastructure. Elon Musk said you can use Starlink for free. You don't have to pay. Later on, when the Ukrainians were close to bombarding and destroying a naval fleet from Russia in Crimea, they had a big naval fleet. The Ukrainians were just about to send an underwater drone to destroy the naval fleet from the Russians. Elon Musk cut Starlink connection immediately from Ukraine, disrupting Ukraine's attack on Russia. He made the decision because he feared that Russia will start a nuclear war. Number two, Elon Musk stopped Starlink again from Ukraine. When? When Donald Trump told the Ukrainians to sign the deal of giving away their minerals. If you don't give away your minerals, we are cutting you off internet. Elon Musk threatened them. This is political or this is not political? This is clearly something you need to pay attention to. I mean, it's very easy to say South Africa is a racist country. They have all these racist rules to not allow us to get into the country and our businesses. But I mean, if you're going to come with business that says political way on it and decision, I mean, if I don't like what you're doing politically, I cut you off Starlink. If I don't like the way you move, I'll switch you off. Is that justified or not? I mean, let's see some of the countries in Africa that say Starlink already. Okay, we have Nigeria, okay, Benin, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Chad, Guinea-Bissau, Niger, East Africa, Kenya, we have Rwanda, South Sudan, Somalia, Southern Africa, we have Botswana, Eswatini, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe. You know, all these countries have Starlink and people are very happy. It's nice. It's nice. But what if your people don't want to deal with their people in a way that their people want you to deal with them? Are they going to cut you off Starlink? Uganda made a law saying men should not marry other men. You know what I'm saying? It's law. If you do it and you bring the mentality, they're going to deal with you in a way that is very Ugandan. They cut them off all the AIDS, the money they used to get. Actually, people in Uganda suffering from HIV, they receive about $300 million a year for treatment coming from the West. After Uganda said, we don't want this in our country, what did they do? They cut them off. So if your country sometime they say to you, you must admit or accept whatever we want you to accept, you refuse. After you've bought onto the system, are they going to cut you off? Are they going to bring down your banking systems? Are they going to bring down your insurance, your hospitals and stuff like that? That's a very good question you need to ask yourself. Again, it really doesn't matter which side of the war you are, whether you are for the Ukrainians or the Russians. The idea here is not about the war. The idea is for a civilian person to make decisions that are war-related, that entails many human beings' life, is very dangerous for any country to accept. Let me know how you feel about this.
Okay, my people, we got good news and bad news. What do we start with? First, let me put on my glasses so I can look cool. We got good news and bad news. What do we start with? Okay, let's start with some good news, okay? First of all, congratulations to Zambia and Ghana for having an agreement, officially agreeing on a visa-free travel for the citizens. Congratulations. Big up my coffee. Yeah, big up my coffee. Big up my coffee again means clap your hand in Swahili. Swahili is the most spoken language in Africa. You see all these countries right here? We're talking about Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, Congo, Rwanda, Burundi. They all speak Swahili. Yes, they're different Swahili. They sound a bit different, but with a little bit of patience, they understand each other. Beautiful. Congratulations to Ghana and Zambia. This is beautiful. I know it's crazy to think that African countries in 2026 still have to have visas for each other. Yeah, it's much easier for a European to travel across Africa than it is for an African person to go to 3 different African countries on one day or 1 week. Sometimes 1 month. It's crazy. Now, congratulations to Zambia and Ghana. Well, Ghana is a beautiful place, beautiful people. I believe Ghana has an open border policy for most African countries. You can now go to Ghana visa-free. You just hop on the plane. Whoop. Ghana, you go dance. Me pacho, good afternoon. Me pacho, good morning. It's banku and tilapia. Very interesting people. So it's great stuff. President of Ghana traveled to Zambia to make this official. They've abolished visa requirements for each other. The agreement announced was made by President John Dramani Mahatma. This man right here. He's the current president of Ghana. He used to be president in the past. He's back, to try to fix the mistakes of the past and make things better. That's beautiful. Now, the bad news. The bad news is this is the president of Ghana. As you can see, this is how he arrived in Zambia. You see, he's dressed in an unconventional way, right? Unconventional compared to who? To how white people taught you how to dress up. So now, when he arrived at the airport in Zambia, this is how he dressed up, okay? And many Zambians were mocking him. They didn't like the way he was dressed. Mahatma arrived in Zambia wearing classic northern Ghanaian fugu. That is what it's called, okay? This is a beautiful, colorful smoke traditionally worn by men in northern Ghana, okay? It symbolized heritage, status, cultural pride. But Zambians were mocking him. They say that it was a blouse. You see the thing on top he's wearing? They say it's a blouse. They imply that it looked feminine and unconventional for a male leader. So this is a president from another African country coming to your country to meet your president, to sign a beautiful deal on visa-free travel between the two nations. And people in Zambia criticizing his attire, saying that it's a blouse. It's unconventional, not dignified for a male leader. So he should have dressed up in suit the way Bazungu or Balungu. You see Bazungu in Swahili, Balungu or Abalungu in Sizulu. You see how African languages are very close? It means the same thing. So Mzungu taught you how to dress up. This is suit and tie. That means you're classical, you're beautiful. But now you start insulting other African people's attire, thinking that it looks loose and unprofessional. It's very sad. Well, Ghanaians didn't wait long. They came back very strong, punching Zambians in the face. On the internet, Ghanaians flooded social media with photos of themselves wearing fugu. We're talking about celebrities in Ghana. MPs, a parliamentarian wearing fugu. Most popular influencer, this man right here, Wode Maya. I'm sure you've seen him before on videos. He does a tremendous job with vlogs and traveling across Africa and many other African countries and many countries in the world, that don't matter. He also came and said to them very clearly on Facebook. He educated Zambians saying, "Dear Zambian, the outfit worn by our president is not a blouse. It's a Ghanaian traditional attire known as fugu, also called batakari." Okay? And there was back and forth and insult, a lot of insult. And it's very, very sad. Very sad. We get back to the insult. Now, the Ghanaian tourist minister, Ablajifa Gomashi, and foreign minister Samuel Okwedzo Ablakwa, sorry, I murdered his name there, Ablakwa, condemned the mockery as culturally insensitive. Culturally insensitive. You don't mock other people's cultures, my brother. Even if you don't agree with it, with maturity, you shut your mouth, okay? Because it's not your culture. Because guess what? Your culture probably has something that is dodgy and weird as well. You don't find it weird. Some people will find it weird. Whereas President himself of Ghana, Mahatma, addressed it humorously. He made a joke out of it during his visit, saying he wore the same smoke to the United Nations in September 2025.
And I want the smoke to the United Nations, the highest platform in this world. I'm surprised that Zambians didn't see me in a smoke last September.
You came closer.
Yeah, when I gave the speech that everybody's talking about, I was wearing a smoke. I'm surprised that he didn't notice it till I visited.
So he wore the same stuff in the United Nations with no feel of inferiority and was surprised it's only got noticed in Zambia. So in the United Nations, the United States of America, the Iranians, the Chinese, the Indians saluted him and respected him for representing Africa by wearing what's Africans. But it's only in Zambia that it is noticed and mocked. Okay, and he noted the attention actually helped promote Ghanaian waivers and local fashion. You see, President, as a grown man, as a father, turned it into a positive thing. And that's a beautiful thing. Fellas, this is very sad because this is not new. Okay? Africans like to mock each other on stupid things. It is very sad. Matter of fact, many Ghanaians punched back on Zambians. They brought up these attires. Like, look at this person saying that the Zambian were trying to copy Scottish with cheap budget. wearing this. I mean, this looks very Scottish. These are the Scottish. These are Scottish people. Now look at these are the Zambians. Now the Ghanaians are insulting the Zambians, say you mocking our president. So look at what you guys wear. Had you been trying to be copying Scottish people because you wanted to be like them? I mean, look how stupid you look. I mean, this is crazy. Well, fellas, I think this is a subject that we need to talk about because in many African countries, okay, people mock each other based on accent in a foreign language, whether it is English or French. African people colonized by British and French mock each other in the country. So they will basically establish how smart you are based on how you pronounce, how you sound in English or French. Okay. So in some countries such as Kenya, I've seen that there was a lady named, what's her name again? Miss Trudy. I think she's the wife of Wode Maya. This is Wode Maya. This is Miss Trudy. I think one of the earliest videos I saw of her many years ago, she was saying excited. Okay. I believe that's how Kenyans say excited. They say excited with emphasis on the X, which is nothing wrong with that. But people came for her. Like, why are you saying excited? It's excited. I'm like, and she jokingly made a comment about it saying, oh, well, is it excited? Oh, sorry. I mean, that's how I speak. What do you want her to do? But I think it was just jealousy. Jealousy to see a young girl doing great for herself. Jealousy to see a girl, simple woman, not necessarily a slay queen or somebody trying to look different, doing great on the internet because they used to, in Africa at least, seeing people that are portraying rich and wealth and slay queenism to be the popular people on the internet. And she was nothing of that. She was a girl coming from a small town, I believe, with a decent father. I think he was a single father, doing great on the internet. People got jealous. They were picking on her English. It's insane. Now you ask them to speak in their own language. You'll be shocked they can't do 2 sentences without bringing an English, say, word or something into it. Yes, these people can barely speak their own languages. They cannot. Let's not talk about the French community, French-speaking people in Africa. They will dismiss you because you made a small mistake of grammar I'm saying grammar. Yeah, it's not my mother's tongue. You know what I'm saying? I mean, are you telling me that these people think the better you sound like a French person, the more Paris accent you have, the smarter you are? It's crazy. I know a lot of people are here from America, from the breed. Yeah, you need to understand the reality. This is the continent for you. Some people, they take a trip. They go to Great Britain for 2 weeks and they come back with an accent. Oh, give me some water. No, I just said some butter on my bread. Yes, because they feel like they're getting better. And it's an inferiority complex. Feeling like the better you look like your master, the more you are accepted. I know, it's the same demons all over the world among black people. Anyway, let's get back on the good news. Yeah, pick up my coffee, yeah. Yes, so Ghana and Zambia are now visa-free, okay? And it's beautiful. We're very happy to see that. We want to see more African countries opening borders to allow other Africans to know each other. And this is one of the reasons. If Ghana and Zambia had been visa-free long time before, the Zambians wouldn't be mocking Ghanaians or the Ghanaian president of his attire. Because they would have known by now, right? Out of curiosity, you would have traveled to the next country, right? I hear a lot of stupid people on the internet, especially Africans, say, why am I going to leave my country? I don't want to go to another country to see it. Like, no, why don't you stay in your own town? Stay in your little town where you were born. No. Stay in your little town where you were born. And let's see if you're the same version of a human being. No, you wouldn't be. The reason why you are what you are today is because you left your little town, that stinky town out there that's where you belong. You must stay there. It is important for the human to go out there and see the world. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go over there and stay forever. No. Okay. Now, it's very sad to see Africans don't have an open mind. Let me go see what's happening in Benin and understand. Let me speak to a Togolese and see how he thinks. Maybe he does 1, 2, 3 better than me and I can implement that into my life and get better. That's how you progress. Look at Europeans. They have open border. Well, surely we can't compare European problems and Africans. And we can try understand why up until now, Africa is not open in terms of visa. Okay? So some of the reason why Africans in general cannot implement visa-free policy is because of cross-border crime and terrorism. Yes, it's very difficult. Look at Nigeria. 200 people were killed today. They are Nigerians killing Nigerians. Why? Because those Nigerians are supposedly Muslim are killing Christian Nigerians because they don't believe in their God that they have never seen before. Yes. Now, you want to open a border with people like that? No, you don't want to do that. You probably have Christians in your country, right? Well, they're going to cross the border and start unaliving people in your country. You don't want that. That's a genuine point, right? No, maybe you need to keep the Nigerian to the side. Let's open the border for everybody except the Nigerians. Don't get hard feelings, okay? Just the time Nigeria resolve its problems, then we can open the border for Nigerians as well. Number 2 reasons is trafficking. We're talking about drugs, arms, and humans. There's a lot of human trafficking. We know who do the human trafficking and the drugs and the stuff. We don't need to mention that again. One of the other reasons why you cannot have right now open border is illegal immigration and overstaying. I mean, look at the Zimbabweans in South Africa. Sorry, my Zimbabweans. I had to just put you under the train. A lot of South Africans complain about Zimbabweans moving to their country. Look at the map. This is Zimbabwe. This is South Africa. They're very much neighbors. Okay? And a lot of Zimbabweans have moved to South Africa. Why? Because Zimbabwe is not doing so well. Why? Because a lot of stories. And we're not going to elaborate that today. But can Zimbabwe do better? Absolutely. So many people are scared that if you open the borders, the Zimbabweans are going to come. Well, some people don't believe that. Like Julius Malema believes that the reason why people come flocking to your country is because your borders are closed. Because if the border was open, people will come and go back. Do you believe in that or not? Well, the other reason why there is no visa-free among Africans, it's loss of visa revenue. Okay, so many of these countries make a lot of money, meaningful resource and income for many governments. So it's not necessarily government. Be careful. It could be people in government. 3, 4, 5 big people that are making the money through visa issuance. Do you think they don't want that anymore? That's a big question. Okay, so number 5, it's economic social pressure. Okay, fear of competition for jobs and housing. If people come from another country, they come to your country, then they want your jobs, then you need to compete with them. Then you can't just compete, you need to better yourself, especially for the lazy people who don't want to better themselves. I mean, I just found it crazy that a human being would be happy to just be complacent because he feels like government has to do things for them. I'm sorry. People don't want to be competitive because competition will push you to do better, go read some more, go back to school, go acquire more skills. And people don't want to do that. The easiest way is, go back to your country so I can stay in my country and profit from my country. Why you come? I can't even have a girlfriend. I can't even have a girlfriend by myself because you're bringing all your people here. I can't even have my own girlfriend. Why? Because obviously when your girlfriend tastes other people's way of love, they question your ability to love. And that forces you to get better. Is that a good thing or not? Question mark. Now, Ghana, we know, implemented visa-free for all African countries, okay, in early 2025. And we also know that is a great thing. Congratulations to Ghana. Congratulations to Kenya for removing the ETA requirement for citizens of 52 African countries. So Kenya is also open if you want to visit. Well, Zambia has expanded its visa-free access to more African nationalities. And I know Zambian people are good people as well. So let's be united and work together. Now, I think before we close this thing, I think it's necessary, talking about the attire, to understand that African people have different type of traditional clothes. Okay? Look at this, for instance. This is called Abesha Kemis. Abesha Kemis is for Ethiopians. Okay, that's their tradition, that's their culture, that's their pride. Look at this. This is Togu from Cameroon. It's colorful, it's beautiful, it's their identity. Look at this. This is Faso Dan Fani from Burkina Faso. I also have one. Yeah, 1 or 2 when I went to Burkina Faso. Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. Ghana, visa-free with Zambia. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's amazing. It's always a great pleasure. Should Africa open its borders? How can we find a solution? Should we keep the dangerous one aside? We can't restrain ourselves from mingling because we have some people that are crazy in the head. They kill people for being of different religion. Brother, You know, in life, sometimes you have to do your own promotion. Yes, you have to do your own promotion. You have to promote yourself. You have to talk about you. Sometimes you have business and people don't talk about you. People that know you don't talk about you. They don't say nothing because they feel like by talking about you, they're going to be giving you a reach. And with that reach, you're going to get bigger in your head. That's how they think. And I'm sorry, this is very much black. They feel like when they give you an opportunity to speak about your business, it's like they're giving you a leverage. Or you're going to think you're too big for your own shoes and you're going to be treating people bad. Why do they do this? It's very sad. But sometimes when you don't have support, you must be your own supporter. You must be your own biggest cheerleader. You have to do that. Well, if you have very close friends that can do that for you, why not? Why not use your friends, your people, to talk about you, to praise you, to celebrate you, to talk about how great you are to other people? Well, Ibrahim Traore, this man right here, you know him, the man from Burkina Faso, 37 years old, has received a prize coming from Mali. Okay, it's called the Grand Cross. This is beautiful. It's usually reserved to individuals who have rendered exceptional service to the Malian nation. This is Mali, this is Burkina Faso. And Ibrahim Traore went there to receive his prize. Let's watch and make a comment right after. Let's go. That is Traore working. Look at him. His hands always going. His hands are always going like this. You know, nice. Let's go. Oh, pride.
Excellence, Monsieur le Président de la Transition, chef de l'État de la République du Mali, grand maître des hommes nations, avec votre autorisation, nous allons procéder à la mise en place des récipiendaires pour l'organiser Ghana.
It's starting to happen, my brother. It's beginning to happen. Okay, a lot of people talk about revolution. They talk about change. They talk about freedom. It is happening. Freedom is this. Freedom is refusing to be subdued by somebody just because they have money. Freedom refuses to be annihilated, you know, just because somebody has opportunities. Well, these countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, say, enough. We are not going to bow down on you so you can come behind us. Come behind us. Okay, that doesn't sound right. Come behind us. Okay. Okay. You understand what I'm trying to say? Let's continue. Again, we spoke about attires. Remember, we talked about attires in one of our videos on Zambians mocking the president of Ghana because he wore this. This is the president of Ghana when he went to Zambia. He wore this, and it's called fugu. It's a traditional attire from Ghana, northern Ghanaians, I believe. And many Zambians made comments saying that that attire was not proper for a leader of a state. He should dress up like a white man. Absolutely stupid. Not the Zambians, but that statement is absolutely stupid. Look at the people behind Ibrahim Traore. Do you see them? Do you see them? These are the government people that accompanies him on his travels. Look how they are dressed. The majority of them. They are all dressed in traditional Burkina Faso attires. That is how you promote your own culture. Beside the soldiers, you can see the soldiers dressed up in military equipment. Everybody else is in traditional African. Why can Africans support that? Why is your brain tuned into accepting a suit, a blazer as the classic model of being serious? You know, emancipate your mind. How did you become supporters of the suit? You know, Arabs go to the United Nations wearing Arabs. Look at Gaddafi. Look how he dressed up. It's only Africans that put on suits. Anyway, let's continue.
Chef de l'État, qu'il vous plaise et bien vouloir nous rejoindre à l'emplacement que voici.
Now he's ready to get his own prize. Look at that walk.
Chef de l'État de la République du Mali, grand maître des hommes nations, qu'il vous plaise de bien vouloir procéder à la décoration de son Excellence, le président du Faso, chef de l'État.
Find your own people to do your promotion, my brother. If you cannot do your own promotion, find people that you can trust so they can do your promotion. Or else the world is going to change your history. The world will change your story if you don't have people to emphasize your story. They'll tell negative things about you. They will narrate things that was not factual. about you. You need people to clap for you. Like Traore has been clapped by. Not clapped by, come on. I think my African Americans are going to clapped by. What do you mean clapped by? Let's go. Not that clapped by.
Son Excellence, le capitaine William Traoré, président du façon chef de l'État. Au nom de l'Afrique du Mali, nous vous élevrons à la dignité des acteurs de l'ordre national du Mali, à titre de famille.
C'est nous.
Look at him. Look how he enters. Oh. Did you see that? Do you see how he enter? Play that again. Play that again. Look how he enters. This showing you that I want to enter. You know, this is very much valuable in many situations. Like when you presented with business opportunity, that's good. You need to show the person that you want to enter. When you're presented with an opportunity to meet, or you're meeting somebody who clearly going to change your life positively, you need to show them that you want to enter. Let's go. Look at that smile. You know? Proud. Very proud. Yeah. Nice. Look at that. Look at that picture. Let me pause right there. I mean, look at that picture. This shows you, I'm just putting myself in his parents' shoes. You know, you have a child that you struggle for your entire life. Then you see a picture of him like this, being decorated greatly by a foreign nation for doing good things. How proud would you be? Look at the smile. Fellas, like I said to you earlier, if you can't promote yourself, you have to promote yourself. Find people that will promote you. It's necessary, or they're going to change your story. So this is very important. What are the symbolic significance of this? The Grand Cross. The Grand Cross is traditionally reserved to individuals who have rendered exceptional service to the Malian nation. Number two, it is reserved to Malian strategic partners, and Burkina Faso has been a great partner. And this also clearly symbolizes the political rapprochement between Bamako, Ouagadougou, and Niamey, the three countries that have become brothers. I actually are the real brothers in Africa, because all of you like each other. My brother. It's a lie. You don't like each other. I actually went to Dubai and I saw some African people. Like you're going to have breakfast, right? By the time you go down to have breakfast was supposed to end, I believe, was it 10 or 11? I don't know. Let's say 10. Okay. We got there just about 9:58 minutes. They were already packing. Like, they saw me and they were like, this is Dubai. Okay, you're in Dubai. And these African people are working as waitresses. They're taking the food. They're not even rich. They're taking the food away. Yeah, this black man is also want to eat. He's not going to eat this breakfast. I mean, you would think that the black people would go like, oh, my brother, you here? I put some food aside for nothing. Then I went to another hotel and was in another hotel, the same hotel. I mean, I got there late and there's the lounge. You see the lounge where you can actually eat and have food. And I got there a little bit late, not late, but a few minutes, just before it was late. And there was this woman from Kenya. She was taking things. I'm like, sorry, is there food for us? No, the food is finished. There's only drinks. Madam. Why, madam? Okay, nothing to do with that. Maybe I'm the one that's late. Anyway, let's continue. So this distinction is great because it shows the rapprochement among the countries. And I need to remind you here, these three countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, have come together in a joint military system. They have a joint military. It's called the Unified Force of IOS. So the three countries have put soldiers together to be a unique force to combat against terrorists and any person that tries to attack them. Let me remind you here. You see this guy? His name is Tiani. He's the president of Niger. He used to be the head of security of the former president of this guy, Bazoum. So the chief of security overpowered the president and he took power. because he felt the president was too friendly with France and was giving France opportunities while the people of the country were actually suffering in poverty. Once they did that, these countries here, you see Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and many other countries, they came together wanting to put a force called ECOWAS to go and fight and overthrow this guy, Tiani. Okay? Listen to this guy saying, we're waiting for the D-Day.
There is a steely determination by our heads of state and government to put an end to it and to make an example of Niger, to make sure that never again are we going to allow the disruption of the region's move towards democratic consolidation in our region. And ECOWAS is not going to tell the coup plotter when and where we are going to strike.
This is your brother. This is what you call brother, right? My brother. He will call you my brother in the street, my brother. But he's waiting for the D-Day to go and kill you. Now, this action didn't come to pass. Actually, before they went and attacked Niger, they went to Europe. These African brothers went to Europe to go ask for support.
The world is a global village. One event in a particular place affects the whole world. So that is why we find it important to come to Spain to talk to our partners from the European Union so that they understand what we are doing and give us the support.
They went to ask for support from the Europeans, saying we want to go and attack, but we want you to know. We want you to know we're about to attack our brothers. Whoever's going to call me brother in this, I will slap him, I'm telling you. If you want to call me brother, you must give me some money first. Then I know the brother is real. Anyway, now, the reason why they didn't attack is because Mali and Burkina Faso said, if you attack Niger, you're going to go to war with all of us.
We hereby warn that any military intervention against Niger is tantamount to a declaration of war against Burkina Faso and Mali.
That's when they stopped. If you can't, you need to do your own promotion. If you can't do your promotion, you must get people that are strong and tight to you to promote you. Because if you wait for your brothers to do your promotion, talk about your business that's doing great, talk about your achievement, they're not going to do that. They'd rather just stay quiet and pretend that you never existed. And just hope that nobody actually noticed the good things that you did. Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.